Hey there, and welcome back to Mobility Monday. So, there's a rule of thumb that says that we should do a minute hip mobility for every hour that we spend seated. So, obviously, that completely depends how many hours you spend seated. Most of us probably around 6 to 8 hours, maybe a lot more per day. And most of us probably aren't doing mobility every single day. So we're going to do a mobility sequence today. And I just thought I'd have a little bit of a play around, trying to think of as many different ways to make circles at the hip. So I've come up with some different ways. If you can think of some more, add them in as well. So we're going to go for lots of different ways of making circles at the hip to try and build up towards about 10 minutes of mobility work. Let's get that out of the way. Build up to about 10 minutes of mobility work to counter our seating. We might do a little bit more than 10 minutes, not a problem, because as I say, most of us probably aren't doing this every day and we want to try and get that average up. So let's start lying on our backs, pulling one leg in. So I've got my left leg in, pulled in towards me, and you're just going to make circles with the knee, circling the knee around. If it feels pinchy, if it feels tight, then start with a kind of broader range of motion. Don't make the circle so big, but also don't pull the knee in so close towards you. Then as you go, if that starts to feel okay, you can start to pull it in a little bit closer towards you. Our joints are very kind of dry when we haven't been moving them. As we move, they become lubricated, almost like, you know, oiling a bike chain or oiling a gate, and it becomes easier to move them. So never force anything with all of our mobility work. Ease into it, don't force it. Let's swap direction with those circles now. Find what feels right for you. Over time, through today's session, but also over time, as we do more of these sessions, hopefully building that range of motion. Lovely. Swap legs, so pull the other knee in towards you. Again, you might want to start with it not pulled in too tight. And then as it loosens up, you can pull it in a bit tighter, build that range of motion at the hip. Swap direction of your circle now. See if you can make that circle bigger, pull it in tighter towards you. If you're getting any back pain, just again, moderate what you're doing so that it's not hurting. You don't want any pinching, you don't want any pain. As it gets looser though, you should be able to bring it in a bit more. Think about extending that other leg away from you. So you're building up that hip mobility between the two legs as well. Lovely. From there, we're going to go onto your fronts, onto all fours. Forgot what was coming next. Onto all fours, into your cat-cow. So where you raise your hips up, and then belly button comes down. So belly button up, head down, belly button down, head up. We just do a few of those just to loosen up that lower back. And then I want you to start moving it. So circling as you do that, circling the hips around. So you're still going through that lower back, getting that loosening up of the lower back, but you're moving the hips. As you go, you can start to go bigger with them, bigger circles moving around. Swap sides or swap direction of that circles. I've just got an awful flashback and I can't quite remember the details of it to George Galloway and whoever it was in Celebrity Big Brother. I don't want to go any further with that flashback, so I'll leave that one there. Few more circles like that. Lovely. From there, kneeling on one side, and we're going to paint circles with our knee on the other side. And again, you might want to start small and make them bigger as you go. So your goal to work towards, which you might not get there today, that's fine, but is to make a bigger circle with your knee as you can. But if you're getting any pinching, any crunching, any tightness, any uncomfortableness, just reduce that range of motion back to a comfortable range. Swap direction of your circle. If you don't like your hands being bent backwards, then you can just do knuckles into the ground instead. Lovely, swap sides. Remember to start with those small circles each time, and then you can build from there. Change direction of your circles. You might find your circles are fine in one direction and not the other. Go for the one that doesn't hurt. Probably feel your glute working here as well. You're having to use the muscle. That's good. We want to create that space and we want to own that space. So a bit of a glute workout here as well, but definitely mostly focused on that mobility, painting as big a circle as you can with the knee. Last few circles on this side. Lovely. From there, we're going to push up to a down dog. So hips in the air. Let's just have a little bit of an ankle loosener or calf loosener while we're here. So walking the heel down towards the ground. And then from there, let's take one foot up in the air and drop it down, or too close to the wall, drop it down to the other side. Now this is a lovely one just to open out that hip on that side. So you can hold it for a few seconds there, opening up that hip. And then if you feel okay, let's go back into painting those circles with that knee again. If this feels too hard for you at any point, you want to take a rest, you can just go in, drop your heels down, drop down. But if it feels okay, let's keep painting those circles. Let's change direction of our circles. Then we're going to take a quick break from our arms. So we're going to come take the leg that was in the air making the circles, take that forwards now to the front, push up. Now you can either keep your back knee in the air, or if that feels too much, you can have your back knee down to the ground, doesn't matter either way. And now we're going to paint a circle with the knee over the front ankle. If you find it helps, you can put your hand on top of the foot to keep the foot flat on the ground. So it's not the ankle, sorry, it's not the foot moving. It's the knee moving relative to the ankle, circling that around. Lovely. And then up to kneeling on that side. And I'm just going to turn to face you. Kneeling on that side, and now I'm going to circle round. So I'm kind of doing that circle with the knee over the ankle at the front here, but now I'm loosening up the back hip as I go through. So sort of out to the side, forward. So I guess you can think of it as your knee circling over the front leg, or you can think of it as your hip circling over the knee below at the back. So we're going to do all of that on the other side now. Now that the arms have had a bit of a rest. If you can think of any other circles of those hips, feel free to add them in. Lovely. So let's go back to that down dog. Pushing up, hips coming up and back. Let's hold it for a few breaths here. Breathing in, hips come up. Breathing out, lowering the hips backwards. And then taking that back leg up into the air, so opposite side. So for me, it's my left leg this time. Dropping it down. So I'm opening out that left hip as I drop that foot down. You can either hold it there, or you can start to make those circles with the knee on that side. Again, you can always take that rest, drop your bum back down onto your heels, just stretch out the arms at any point. Swap direction. Lovely. Take the foot that was in the air forwards. So you're kneeling on the ground with your foot forwards, hands down to the ground, and then you can either keep the knee on the ground or knee in the air. Push that front knee forward and circle it around the ankle at the front. Then you can put your hand on the foot to keep the foot flat. You can drop that back knee down if you want. Circling the knee around the foot. If you've got the heel in the air, if you've got the knee in the air at the back, you can think about pushing that heel backwards. So you're getting that stretch as the knee pushes forwards at the front and the heel pushes back at the back. Lovely, and then up to kneeling down on the ground and just making those circles all around. So hip circling around the knee at the back, or if you find it easier, think about the knee circling around the foot at the front. Particularly thinking about going into that sideways motion, pushing forwards and then sideways. Getting a bit of ankle mobility here as well, but mostly thinking about opening up that back hip. So if you have any other hip circling ideas, as I say, feel free to add them in, let me know. Thinking of what you can do, any of these exercises by themselves is great. Thinking about what you can do just to get a little bit of hip mobility into your life every day. Remembering that idea, we're trying to get a minute for every hour spent seated, but don't feel, oh my God, I'll never get 8 minutes done, however long you think you spend seated. Instead, 1 minute is better than no minutes. So any of these, there's normally hip mobility in most of the sessions we do in these sessions, just trying to add in a little bit more, particularly if you're about to do some strength and conditioning or running. There's lots of examples in here already of run mobility, but just trying to loosen up those hips before we use them, or if we're not using them at all, loosen them up so that if we've been spending all day seated, just getting some movement in there. Okay, I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you again for some more Monday Mobility next week. See you then.